Welcome to This Explainer. I am so glad you're here today because we are tackling something that impacts literally every single one of us every single day. We're talking about communication. But don't worry, we're totally bypassing the dry textbook theory today in favor of practical, real-world tools for surviving modern workplace communication. We're diving into a professional survival guide based on the renowned 7 C's of effective communication. By the end of our time together, you're going to have a framework that will completely change the way you write, speak, and interact at work. So picture your inbox right now. Have you ever gotten an email from a colleague or a manager that just left you staring at your screen, completely bewildered? Like you read it once, you read it twice, and you still have absolutely no idea what they want from you. It's a universal frustration, right? I mean, we've all been there. Our inboxes are chaotic enough without having to decipher vague, mysterious messages. And the hard truth is, when we send messages like that ourselves, we're actively damaging our own professional efficiency. Let's look at a real-world example from our source material to see exactly what I mean. This is a quick email from Kamran to a colleague named Ahmad. He writes, "Hi Ahmad, I wanted to write you a quick note about Wasim, who's working in your department. He's a great asset and I'd like to talk to you more about him when you have time. Best, Kamran." Now, at first glance, this seems perfectly fine, right? Kind of friendly, polite. But in a busy professional setting, this message is actually a disaster. It's basically a prime example of what not to do. Okay, so why exactly does this email fail so spectacularly? Well, put yourself in Ahmad's shoes for a second. You get this message, and instantly you have a whole list of issues to resolve. First off, what about Wasim? Did he do something wrong? Is he getting a promotion? Second, what actual duties is Kamran even referencing? And most importantly, what is the actual purpose of this conversation he wants to have? You see, Kamran has created a massive narrative gap here. Instead of transferring useful information, he's just generated a bunch of anxiety and confusion for the receiver. But hey, we aren't just here to point out the problems today. We are going to fix them. We're going to look at a specific, actionable framework designed to repair these exact types of communication breakdowns. Because at the macro level, communication isn't just about throwing words at somebody. It's the successful transfer of ideas between minds. Think of it like a giant set of gears. Your mind is one set of gears and your colleague's mind is another. If your words don't properly link up with their understanding, the gears just grind. Nothing moves forward. Real, effective communication only happens when both of those minds align perfectly. To get those gears aligning, we first have to step back and remember the fundamental reasons we even hit send or open our mouths at work to begin with. According to our sources, it basically boils down to 4 main goals. We communicate to persuade an audience to accept our point of view. We communicate to instruct them by directing their actions. We communicate to inform them of facts or concerns. Or finally, we communicate to build trust and rapport. Kamran's email? Yeah, it failed because it literally didn't hit a single one of those goals. And why are these failures so incredibly costly in the modern professional scenario? Because, let's be honest, we have less time available today than ever before. We're constantly bouncing between meetings, emails, and reports. Because of that breakneck speed, there's just no room for errors. A confusing email stalls a project. Plus, getting this right is absolutely crucial for your own professional development and for strengthening relationships with your peers. The stakes are incredibly high, so our communication has to be totally optimized. So, enter our ultimate survival toolkit, the 7 C's of effective communication. This is a comprehensive framework that applies whether you're speaking or writing. The 7 C's are clarity, conciseness, completeness, concreteness, correctness, consideration, and courtesy. Now, it's a massive list, I know, but to fix Kamran's bad email, and really to solve like 90% of the communication problems you face every day, we're just going to deep dive into the first 2 foundational principles right now. Starting with principle 1, clarity. Look, if you don't have clarity, the other 6 C's simply do not matter. Clarity is the foundational building block. It's the guarantee that your intended message is the exact message that gets received. So how do we get it? Through simplicity and organization. First, use short, simple, fluent sentences. Second, always provide the big picture, so your details actually make sense. Third, you can use a checklist called LUCE. That stands for length, unity, coherence, and emphasis. Keep sentences concise. Unify them around one core idea. Make sure they flow logically and emphasize the main point. And lastly, choose familiar, exact words. Let's look at an example. Take the word subsequent. People love using this in business reports, right? Because it sounds so official. But compare it to the word after. Dropping the stuffy, complex word for a simple, familiar one instantly boosts your clarity. Your reader doesn't have to translate it, they just get it. Here's another one: domicile versus home. Unless you are drafting some highly technical legal contract, home effortlessly baits the overly formal domicile. The goal isn't to prove how vast your vocabulary is. The goal is to transfer ideas between minds as smoothly as possible. Simple, exact words do that best. That brings us to principle 2, conciseness. Because here's the thing, even if your writing is perfectly clear, it will still completely fail if it's buried under a mountain of fluff. Conciseness is clarity's best friend. How do we get straight to the point? Use as few words as possible without sacrificing your meaning. This isn't just about style. In a corporate environment, conciseness literally saves time and money. You have to actively avoid wordiness and redundancy. And honestly, the most actionable advice here: eliminate those filler words we all rely on. Words like basically, I mean, kind of. Actually, scratch that. They don't just add zero value, they water down your whole message. Cut them out entirely. Watch how we can rootlessly and elegantly chop down these common corporate phrases. How often do you see someone write, "due to the fact that"? It's clunky, it's 4 words long, and it just slows the reader down. You can replace that entire phrase with one single powerful word: because. Exact same meaning, but it delivers the punch immediately. What about the phrase, "at this time"? We see this constantly in formal emails. Trade that archaic phrase for an urgent, direct action word, "now." It's shorter, it's clearer, and it conveys a much stronger sense of momentum. All right, ready for the ultimate conciseness makeover? Take a look at this bloated nightmare of a sentence. "We hereby wish to let you know that our company appreciates your confidence." Wow, it is exhausting just to read it. By applying conciseness, we can cut this down to its absolute core. "We appreciate your confidence." Look at how much stronger and more sincere that second version is. Less is almost always more. So bringing this whole narrative full circle, remember Kamran's disastrous email from the beginning? Let's look at the good example after he actually applies clarity and conciseness. Kamran now writes, "In recent weeks, Wasim Khan has helped the IT department through several pressing deadlines. We've got a tough upgrade project due to run over the next 3 months. Could we please have his help with this work? When is it best to call you to discuss this further?" Boom! It provides the big picture, uses clear facts, and states the exact purpose. The gears are perfectly aligned. So I want to leave you with a bit of a provocative challenge today. As you go back to your desk, I want you to audit your own communication habits using this toolkit. Think about that LUCE framework. Think about ruthlessly eliminating those filler words. When you sit down and hit send tomorrow morning, are your words going to clarify the situation, or are they just going to add to the confusion? The choice and the power to make your communication truly effective is entirely in your hands. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy writing.